The budget does reflect the reaffirmation of the city's financial policies as endorsed by the council, including maintaining a general fund ending balance of 15% of our spending. We are keeping public safety below 66% of the total general fund. We maintain a structural balance where our current revenues match our current expenses. We do not rely on one-time revenues to support recurring expenditures. And we also achieve a 2-year balanced budget. What that plan does is it not only balances 2020, but it reserves enough cash to also balance 2021 as well. So that as we add new initiatives to the budget, we don't put ourselves in a deficit going into that following fiscal years. Previously, under previous law, if you were a company that provided both internet and cable, you paid 2 right-of-way fees to reflect that you were using the right-of-way for 2 services. Well, the legislature said, no, we don't like that. So if you provide both services, you will only now pay 1 fee. That resulted in about $7 million less revenue to the city, and that took effect September 1. We are recommending adding additional overtime in the amount of $272,000 to address some quality of life issues that we have seen in those areas that attract a lot of foot traffic in the night. So things like the St. Mary's Strip, North Main, your Sac, the Pearl, Southtown, and Military Drive, where we have seen, unfortunately, people when they get out at the nightclubs and such at night, they may opt to use residents' front yards as bathrooms, or have caused damage to cars and things like that. So we are addressing this with additional resources for police overtime in these high traffic areas. We are recommending to include an enhanced squad pilot. A squad is like a light infantry division. It's usually a Ford F-350 with firefighters on it that is much more limber than an engine, and it can respond to medical calls, which will enable that engine to be redeployed for structural fires or another emergency call. That may not, whereas without the squad, the fire department would have to send that engine out, and that would take it out of service for that call. We are also recommending an additional position for training of our fire suppression officers. This is a finding that came out of the line of duty passing of Scott Deem a couple of years ago. So we are recommending that position be added for additional training. And then we're also proposing additional equipment initiatives, including the Clean Cab initiative, which is designed to get the firefighters' breathing apparatus, instead of it being in the car with them after they've responded to a call. We're going to put that on a rack outside so that the firefighters are not breathing in that dust as they're headed back to the fire station.
Short-term improvements we're going through at the airport that's separate from this 20-year master plan evolution. As we mentioned, 1 million passenger growth. For this year, we're looking at about maybe a 6.5% growth year over year. So that's quite substantial. But phase 2, we're going to, and the answer was yes, it will fit. We don't need to find a replacement airport or supplemental. If you've heard or over the years, I guess there's been some talk about, maybe one big regional airport that's halfway, maybe New Braunfels, between San Antonio and Austin, have one big regional airport. But that probably really would not happen. Austin's doing a tremendous amount of capital expansion and investing a lot of money in their airport. So the idea is, yes, it'll fit on our 2,600 acres or so. We can get enough facilities that will take us into a 50-year horizon. As we narrow down the alternatives, and then the consultant, they'll model, the flight activities, flight paths, flight patterns, and then they'll come up with these noise contours if you're familiar with that. That'll be part of the process. We'll also include, part of this would be 8 public open house workshops for the stakeholders. So again, keep you engaged and informed of what is occurring. The plan alternative evaluation will consider noise impacts. Which alternative is best or better for the community, less noise impact over certain areas. So this will all be considered. National Environmental Protection Act, it'll all be within those parameters. And noise mitigation may become part of the project, i.e., the mitigation. Is there soundproofing? Is there things that residents or areas are found to be within the noise contour within the 65 DNL number? Then there'll be some alternatives for that. So